Hi all, Alyssa here for AoP Tech, and I wanted to share with you one of my all-time favorite Google tips, which is force copying a Google link. It's one of the quickest, easiest things that you can do to share out something and force whoever is opening that link to add a copy to their drive. Great for things like presentations and templates. Let's take a look. So this trick works with Google Docs, slides, drawings, all things like that within G Suite. And I have here a Google Doc that I just opened up. And you can imagine if it was filled with text for students, something for parents, a presentation. This is how I give out my presentations. And typically what I would do is you'd give that link and you'd make it view only. And then sometimes you have people requesting edit access because they want to be able to utilize something in it or things like that. Alternatively, if I wasn't using Google Classroom with students in this time of distance learning, I would have all the students inside the same document working, which could work for the type of assignment that it is. But if it's a template, a graphic organizer, I wouldn't want them to do that. So I'm going to come up here to the share button. You can imagine if there was more text within this document here, and I'm going to get the shareable link. Now, I'm going to make sure, in this case for me, I'm going to drop down that link sharing so I can get the anyone with link, and then I can make this can view, can edit, can comment. So I'm going to set it to anyone with the link can edit it. If it's within your organization and you want this to be signed in, you might consider that as well. But this is something that I do for presentations where I put on anyone with the link and can view typically, and then sometimes can edit depending upon what my needs are. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to take that link and I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it here to show you what you can do to force copy for someone. So what I'm going to do is I am going to actually delete this last, everything but this last slash here. So you can see I have my last slash and I'm going to delete that out and I am going to put the word copy there instead in that URL. And I'll make this a little bit bigger so it's a little bit easier to see that after that last slash, I eliminated everything and then put the word copy. Now, that is the link that I will share. And I can do the same exact thing in a Google slide or a Google drawing. So when I open a new tab and I put that URL in now, and I hit enter to make it go, it'll say copy document, force a copy of it. And that will add a copy to that person's Google Drive. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite because it works so great with all the different kinds of documents and has lots of different uses. So that gives the person clicking the link or the student clicking the link their own copy that goes in their own Google Drive. My original, so if this was a template for something or a presentation, my original is undisturbed. And that's a great thing. Now, you can do this a little more straightforwardly in Google Classroom if you are using Google Classroom. We'll take a look at that in just a second because it works a little bit differently there. If you were to use this with students in this time of e-learning, know that this copy that then goes into their drive isn't automatically shared back with you. So for example, I know some folks in the middle grades who are not using Google Classroom but using a Google site. You could put this link onto your Google site so that students would each get their own copy of the questions. But what you and the students would need to remember to do is that they would need to share it back with you. So they would go to the share button and put you in directly, or however, whatever method you've set up for turning in digital assignments. So I just wanted to make that note that once it's in their drive, you're not seeing the progress on it or seeing if it's completed. They have to manually share it back. That is a benefit of using Google Classroom. If I were in Google Classroom, I don't need to do anything to those URLs. I have here an assignment open. I'm going to select Add, Google Drive. I'm going to select a document and hit Add. And then I can drop down this menu of how students are viewing or accessing that file and say, make a copy for each student. The benefit here is that when students open that link, it will automatically make them a copy, each their own, with their name, and share it back via Classroom. So that's a benefit to using that there, but I know not everyone is using Google Classroom and needs a way to kind of get some of those templates out easier. The final way you could share, but this does not force it, if you didn't do this / copy, students could open the original and go to File, Make a Copy, and that will put a copy into their own drive, or anytime you find a file on the internet that you have, be mindful of copyright, that you have the ability to do that, or somebody was sharing with you and they've given you permission to do so, you could use File, Make a Copy. I just find for students and families, and for me out in presentations, that's a little bulky. If I can just do this / and put the word copy in instead, it's a lot easier. So this is one of my very favorite tips and tricks for Google Drive, and I hope that helps you make some easier document and sharing.